Good morning, friends. One of the things I've been thinking a lot about as I'm thinking about communication and the way we talk and what we do is also what we need in communication to be able to have a healthy exchange. And the biggest thing that I have noticed over the years is safety. So, we're going to talk for a few different episodes about what safety looks like in the categories in which safety is relevant. The first piece of safety is when we're trying to resolve a conflict. And so, one of the key ground rules in that is having a safe place. Now, depending on who you are and your dynamics and your relationships with the individual in which the conflict is, safety can mean a lot of different things. So, for example, if you are at work and you're venting to a coworker who's at the same level as you about a frustration, and they listen to you, but then they go and tell other people, that might be a violation of safety. If you are needing to talk to your spouse and they're in the kitchen chopping vegetables with a very sharp knife, you might say, I need to have this conversation when someone's not holding a knife. Other parts of safety can be about how we use our physical self. So if we are different sizes, if we get too close in someone's personal space, if our volume gets too loud, if we get scary, if we use physical force to when those conflicts are happening. But we can also feel a lack of safety when someone's attention isn't present. Whether that is, trying to initiate a conversation while someone's in the middle of an important task or meeting, or even something that's important to them but you don't think is important. Those types of things can feed into feelings of lack of safety. Additionally, the kinds of words we use and how we communicate our feelings when we in name call. When my husband and I were early married, I would hear people, especially in my family, talk negatively about themselves, and I'd say, hey, no one talks about my husband that way. Nobody talks about my kid that way, not even you. And maybe that's not fair of me to have done that, but safety even for ourselves of how do we communicate and how do we speak to our needs. Another piece of safety is feeling heard and listened to. So if I express myself specifically, which honestly takes work, and it is dismissed or ignored or not followed through, that might contribute to lack of safety. And the thing is, when we're not safe with other people, we're not encouraging them to continue to reach to us to connect. So when we're talking about what is it that I need to feel safe, it's different for every person. But if we pretend that that isn't a factor in communication, we also act like it's not a priority either. And so whatever that situation is, I know when I was first married, the safest place to have a conversation would be in the bed, where we were sitting or surrounded by pillows and everything was just soft and squishy. And being able to recognize, okay, this is what I need to feel safe. This is what I need in my life to interact in a way that feels like you're listening, that you care, and that you're part of my team. So we also have to be able to notice what we need so then we can ask for it and set those boundaries around, like, what am I going to do if it becomes unsafe? What am I going to do if it shifts into name calling or sarcasm or dismissive behaviors? And then how do I return when it's safe again? There are some people who end complete relationships, not just marriages, but neighbors, siblings, friendships, because of a repeated pattern of lack of safety. I remember when I was small, like 4 or 5, there was a girl that lived across the street from us, and we were friends. But she had this really bad pattern of making fun of me, which doesn't feel good. It's not safe. And I was tolerating it for whatever reason. And in the process of knowing her, we moved to a house further down the street. And so we lived, 10, 12 houses down. And I still went to go visit her. And one day I think I went to her birthday party. And at her birthday party, she said something that was like the final straw of being mean and hurting my feelings. And I walked out of her birthday party, and I never played with her again. And the thing is, kids are kids. They don't know what they're doing, and we're not able to say, hey, when you said this, I felt this, and thus it made me not want to hang out with you. In the future, could you please not talk to me that way? Well, the skills aren't there unless we've been taught them from our parents. But recognizing that there are some relationships that we have probably lost because of lack of safety, because we needed to create more safety in our relationships. So start paying attention to, what are the things that I need when I need to have a conversation with someone that's a high stakes conversation, or even a low stakes conversation, that helps me to feel safe enough that this is going to be able to be accomplished. Hope you practice that this week and see if that changes anything in your dynamics.